Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus, homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming, homage to Master Sakya Zhengkong, homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and homage to Master Tupten Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of Homa today, the High King Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. Danjang Katso Siddhi, all Dhamma masters, Dhamma educators, Dhamma teachers, Dhamma lecturers, Dhamma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Good afternoon, everyone. How do you do?
I still Sarare Hola amigo Te quiero mucho Sugoi Ichiban Kimochi Jumi Yabi Bling bling Konnichiwa
First, I would like to announce for next Sunday, March 6th. Wow, it's March already. Wow. At 3 p.m., there will be Padma Kumara Homa fire offering ceremony. And yesterday, last night, Saturday night, I already talked about Padma Kumara very clearly. And everybody knows very well. And his mudra, one hand is the lotus holding mudra, the other hand is the Dharma teaching mudra. And in the Donghuang grottos, there is a main deity who forms the mudra of the lotus holding mudra in one hand and the Dharma teaching mudra in the other hand. Some people visited and took a picture. That deity is Padma Kumara. So main deity or main primary supplicants, that's about the same, but actually they're a big difference. So I'd like to let you know that next Sunday, it's the Homa of Padma Kumara. So the Homa today is that of High King Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. And we all know High King Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva's origin, and also about the High King Avalokitesvara Sutra as well, or High King Guan Yin Sutra. It was popular during the dynasties of Wei, Jin, North and South dynasties, as well as the dynasties of Sui and Tang. It was popular then. And then, after Tang, it's Song dynasty. And the hiking Guan Yin Sutra was extremely popular at the Western Xia dynasty or the Tangut kingdom. And every citizen of the Western Xia dynasty chanted the hiking Guan Yin Sutra. This dynasty had 10 emperors during the time of the Tang and Song dynasties. When the Western Xia dynasty started, the emperor of the Tang dynasty saw that there's a new dynasty called the Western Xia starting, so he sent an envoy to investigate, wanted to eradicate it. But they discovered that the new dynasty has been established and quite strong. So therefore, the emperor of the Tang dynasty, wanting to befriend them and then give them the same family name as the family name of the emperors of the Tang dynasty. That's why they all have Li as their family names. So the Tang dynasty were planning to invade them or attack them, but at the end, they bestowed the family name Li. And that's the reason why the emperors of the Western Xia dynasties had the family name Li as well. The great snowy Tangut mountain in Tibet. So the Tangut tribe came from that great snowy mountain and migrated gradually to the Hexi corridor or west of river corridor and established a dynasty there. And it was known as the Western Xia dynasty or the Great White High Kingdom. The original family name was called Dobas. And because the emperors of the Tang dynasty had family name Li, so they changed their family names. And during the Song dynasty, because the Western Xia was a nomad, they exchanged lots of oxen and sheep to trade in many of the sutras in Tang dynasty. So that's how they got lots of Buddhist sutras. The ones are from Tibetan Tantric Buddhism. So they have Tantric Buddhism as well as the Sutric or Mahayana Buddhism. So everyone chanted and highly revered the High King Guan Yin Sutra. So when Genghis Khan attacked the Western Xia dynasty, he attacked for 9 times and failed. That was because they were protected, the Xia dynasty was protected by the High King Guan Yin Sutra. Because that was the place of the Buddhas. Just now I chanted that above hiking Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva was the past 7 Buddhas. And the mantra that's the mantra of the 7 Buddhas. And the 7 past Buddhas are Visvabhu, Shik, Kanakamuni, Sakyamuni Buddha, Kashyapas, Vispashi, Shikin, Visvabhu, Kakusandra, Konagama, Sakyamuni Buddhas. So he's the prince of the 7 past Buddhas. Let me tell a joke that I think this belongs to Taiwan. One rainy day, Ming had the compulsion and wanted to eat fried chicken called 22nd century fried chicken that's about 20 kilometers away. Is there a shop called that in Taiwan? Anyone from Taiwan? It's 1 century difference. 22nd century fried chicken. So it was rainy day, so she got on the taxi and the driver asked, "Where are you going?" And she said, 22nd century. And the driver said, "Come on, I'm driving a taxi driver, not a time travel capsule." What century are we in now? 21st? 22nd century fried chicken, does it exist? And the wife, after a shower, walked out with the nightgown. And her husband said, "Oh, honey, you look like a Japanese star." And the wife was very happy. "Which one?" And the husband replied, "Cao Qinglong. I've never heard of her." And the husband replied, "Oh, that's a sumo star." A sumo, you know. They would storm one leg and the other one, and then they would, and then the opponent, and then they would attack each other. Do you know sumo? So just imagine what kind of figure the wife had. Like a sumo star. Now we'll do the question and answer. Question from Malaysia. 莲花田光. A precious Grandmaster Simu, peace be with you, Amitabha. I have some questions. Please help answer. About our 8 birth number, which is like the year, month, date, and minutes and second. So, based on our birth numbers, if we miss a certain element, say fire or water element, can we use the talisman of Fu and draw, say, the water deity or fire deity to supplement it? Would that work? Thank you, Grandmaster. We pray that you stay healthy and everything is auspicious. From Malaysia, about the birth 8 numbers, we know if we miss a certain element, we would supplement it. However, it should be calculated when you're just born, and then you give a name appropriately. If you lack fire, then we will give a name with the fire character or fire radical. If you lack fire, then you just add the fire radical, like the character En with the mouth or with the fire. This is Chinese characters. So you can use different Chinese characters. So with the fire element as your name, if you lack water, then you use names with water character in it. Like Cao, the character with the water radical. So typically it's being supplemented with the names. So if you use the 5 planetary deities, like the water deity or fire deity, would that work? I don't know. The Master does not know if we can fix it that way. Let me consult. So carrying the talisman of the 5 planetary deities, 5 mean to represent the 5 elements. So yes, you can supplement it that way. Yes, you can. That's the answer. Second question from Canada. The reference 四连放. the life foundation items and the old clothes of a deceased, can they be placed into the same spot in the columbarium? Second question, why a dying person cannot speak? When I was 12, before my father passed away, all he could do is by writing. He could not speak. Why? You should ask your father then. The third question, the parents of an ordained monks or nuns, do they have to wear a mark to show a filial piety after our parents die? Like they would wear a black cloth. This is a folk tradition. Or sometimes they would use thread and pin to it something in many different ways. It's like a sign of mourning for one's parent. So our life foundation items, which is like hair, nails, and clothes of a living person, and the old clothes of a deceased person, can this be put in the same spot in the columbarium? Okay, I would say this. If it's up to me, say she wants to buy a spot at the Twin Lotus Columbarium, and she wants to put her own life representative items in that spot, as well as the clothes of a deceased person. This is my own personal opinion, not the opinion of the columbarium or other people, okay? It doesn't matter to me what you want to do with it. As long as you buy one, doesn't matter. If I'm a businessman, as long as you buy one and what you want to do with it, it's up to you. If you want to put a pair of leather shoes or a hat or a belt, it's up to you. You can put anything in there. But you cannot put your pet in there. Because the pet is a living being and can run around. As a businessman, I would say, sure. But here, it's like you are you're getting a spot here, and actually it should be okay how it's used. Of course, if you want to put a bicycle in there, it's impossible. Or if you want to put a clock, it's okay. Yeah, however many clocks you have, you buy how many spots. It's yours, right? It's up to you what you want to place in there. So will it affect negatively? That's your problem. That's your business, not mine. However, let me consult. So we don't say we buy, we get. And the answer was no opinion, no comment. Same with me, right? The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas said, no opinion, no comment, whatever you do. So the answer to the Reverend Silian Fang from Canada. Why a dying person cannot speak? When I was 12, my father was dying. He could not speak anymore, so he communicated by writing. So you would be able to like sometimes for an elderly, if they want to say something, the sound that's made is different. So the brain is thinking of a certain sound, but what's spoken is different. I remember for elderly, sometimes they have to practice speaking. And you also need to practice swallowing. And they are doctors specializing in speech, how to talk, how to move the tongue, how to swallow, because elderlies often choke when they eat, because the esophagus is not as flexible as young people. The opening and closing may be loose, not as flexible anymore. So that's why many people, as they age, they need to practice how to pronounce, like practice singing. So step by step, and you need to pronounce it accurately. They need to practice every day. And also swallowing. They need to practice. I don't know how the doctor trains them, but I know they are doctors specializing in swallowing. Like if you often choke, that area has become loose. And because when when it should be closed, it's not closed right, so the food would get in, or when it's supposed to open, it's not open completely, so there's some problem there. So perhaps he's dying, so he could not speak. That's why he used paper and pen to communicate. That's already pretty good. Some people cannot write anymore using paper and pen.
所以这个是很重要的啊，这人
So
要
this
走
is
的
very
时候真的
important.
是，yeah。啊，我记得这几天有一个我们
When
的
people
好
is
朋友，
dying,
他离开人间，
this few
是
days
大
we
师
have a
大
good
师
friend
的王之德吧，
who
是
passed
吗？
away.
懂吗？
Mm.
王之德嘛，
You say
啊，
his
他
name
刚离
Wang
开人
Zide.
间嘛，刚刚离开人
He
间
just passed. He just left the world.
啊，他的儿子有到西雅图来，他现在有没有在这里？没有吧？
Their son came to Seattle. Is he still
王之
here?
德的儿
He's
子，
gone back home.
他已经回去了，就是个子高高的，
He's a
光
tall
头的，
guy.
他是要到这个大连去定居，他
He's
是
tall and
是美国籍，
his head was
跟
shaved.
这个
He's American. He lived in Las Vegas. And
对
his
是夫
his
妇啊，
wife, Lin Ruichin,
他们两个要到中国大陆
they were about to go to Dalian,
因
mainland
为
China,
生活费非常的贵，
to live
而
there
且遗产税扣得很重，
because they find that living expenses in America is too
到
high,
大连去定居。
and especially the inheritance tax. So they were going to Dalian to live there.
啊，要去大连定居的时候，那一天
And
王之德
on that day, they came to ask me,
一起来问我
Wang
出去，
Zide and his wife, and I
你赶
consulted
快，
and told
你
them,
不要马上去大连，你先回台湾，
you go back to
然
Taiwan
后
first
再去大连。
and then go to Dalian
我
later.
跟他讲说，你先回台
That's what
湾
I
去大
told
连。
them.
没想到他一回到台湾
But
的时候，
go to Taiwan first before
肚子好
Dalian.
像
And when they got to Taiwan,
就去检，
one day he had the
王之德就去检，
severe
结果
stomach
是胃
ache
癌。
and had it checked. It turned out to be stomach cancer. 好，这个是上一个问题，要不要讲？不要讲啊。 Do I have to say this? This is about the earlier one.
啊，不要讲了，给我看有没有。
Then why did you show it to me?
好，我来，我还是讲吧。
Then I will say it.
啊，前一个这个莲芳法师的问题啊，
Question from
这个
the
有讲
Reverend Lian Fang.
我们这里的灵骨塔的这个双莲境界的管理有规矩。
Our columbarium management has a rule
灵骨塔位不是卖的，是
that
赞
the
助。
spots in the columbarium is based on donations, is not for purchase.
温度，保持空气新鲜清洁，还有
So
空
we
气，
maintain a certain temperature,
都是
a
赞助
fresh
的，不是卖
air,
的。
and then we
高级的
also
灵骨塔
do
会
some
只要
rituals, and they're all accepting donations, but not for sale.
不是很随便的灵骨塔，塞什么东西
So it has to
会
be
发出味道。
tidy and neat, so you cannot just put anything in
很
there,
快就传过来。
especially that
所以我在
smells
讲
bad
当中就是讲说，
or
啊，
something.
我刚刚提到，我是讲说我是生意
I just said
如果在卖灵骨
me
塔，
personally, if
但是我们双
if
人
I
世界不
were
是这样的。
but not for the twin lotus columbarium, okay? The twin lotus columbarium has rules, and it's not for purchase, but you have to make donation for it. And it has temperature control, and things inside the spots have to be clean. Otherwise, it would generate certain smell. Is that right? So that means you cannot put just anything you want. It has to be clean and nice. Then you can put it in as long as it's clean. That's the response from the top. From my boss. So, when someone is dying, he cannot do anything anymore. It's already quite good if someone can write before they die. It's normal that they cannot talk, especially when they get strokes. Because speech is controlled by a certain part of the brain. If that's not working well, then you cannot speak. And this Reverend Lian Fang, you're asking why? because he cannot speak. If he could speak, he wouldn't write, right? So I was talking about Wang Zide. So his cancer spread to lungs, so he had difficulties breathing. And they were in Taiwan, and luckily they had relatives there to help them. If they had gone to China, of course that would be okay too in China. There must be some reason why I asked them to go to Taiwan first before they go to China. And little did we know that when they got to Taiwan, they discovered the stomach cancer that had spread, and then when it spread to the lungs, they could not, he had difficulty breathing without oxygen for 2 minutes. Then he felt that he was dying. And their son came to ask for blessing to extend a few days. To sign things, and I think legally they will not be legal or accepted, because he's already he's not he has lost his control, basically. So in those situations, that whatever they sign or whatever they say may not be legally binding. They are very good disciples, and Grandmaster will definitely guide them to the Pure Land.
所以释莲方法师所问的，口要讲话讲不出声音，为什么？
So what the Reverend Lian Fang asked,
想想也知道，那时候没有办法讲
you're
话。
asking this question why a dying person cannot speak?
有的人写都
Says you would know when you think about it.
第三，出家人的
The third question,
或是法师要为父母带孝吗？就是在手背上
when the parents of ordained monk or nun passed away,
一定是
do we need to show our mourning by wearing a black
自己做决定。你要
ribbon or band or thread on your clothes? It's up to you. You can decide on your own.
黑毛线就可以，或者黑布带也可以，都可以。
So any one of them,
这由自己做
either one is fine. It's up to you.
有一个同事在婚礼上，主持人问新娘，新郎问新郎。
The MC asked the groom at the wedding ceremony,
你都愿意照顾他，跟他厮
in
守一生
riches or poverty, in health or sickness, are you willing to stay and protect her
我
all
愿意。
your life?
这时候从
And the
教堂的
groom
另外一
said,
端
yes, I
传
do.
来一个女人的声音，
And then from the other side of the church, there was a woman's voice,
你也是这么说的。
which is his ex-wife, and said, that's what you said last time too.
这个夫妻嘛，
Husband and wife. It's always like that.
所以听听就好，有些话听听就好。
So for certain things, just take it easy.
爸爸问小明，
Dad
在
asked
学
me
校哪门功课学得最好？
which
小明讲，我
which
现在
lesson is
会特技。
best
他说，哎，
for you in
有
school.
这门功课吗？小明
Oh,
说
it's
当
a
然有啊，
special
我学会
special
了
lesson.
空中接魂笔。
And is there a lesson
我
called
还
that?
学会
Yeah,
了
I can
站着睡
catch.
觉，
I can catch the
另外还会
cock
隔空
in
作
the air and sleeping while standing, and I can cheat across space.
哎，就在监狱里面，监狱的
In
警
the
察冲
prison,
着一个犯人喊：“喂，你老婆来看你了。
the jail officer ”
这个犯人就问：“哪一个
said to the prisoner,
这监狱
your wife is here to see you. And the prisoner asked, which
小
one?
到底有几个老婆啊？
And the guard asked, which one? How many wives do you have?
我是犯了重婚罪才进的。
Oh, don't you know that I got here because I have more than one?
哎，重婚罪会关吗？
Will you be in prison if
对
you
啊，
marry
婚罪有那么重吗？那么严重吗？
more than once without divorce?
国家法律不允许，但是一般判会判的那么重吗？
It's again the rule in some countries.
每个国家不一样。
Bigamy. It depends on the countries.
我是希望判得轻一点。
I hope the punishment is light.
这里有一个笑话： 男女之间最纯的友谊就是夫妻。
The purest friendship is between husband and wife. The longer you get married, the purer it becomes. It's so pure that you can be under the same blanket and you just chatting, and even when you change clothes, nobody will even peek and don't feel anything. Or it's so pure that even when both are totally naked, there's no heartbeats. That makes sense. The longer you get married, even when you're totally naked, there is no feeling whatsoever. That's how pure it is. It's not funny, huh? Okay, now let's talk about the Vajra Sutra. Chapter 18. The one and same notion of everything. Or the common view for everything. This is what Confucius said. Harmony in the world is like one world. The Chinese sage Confucius said about the one world in harmony, and the title here is the same. Sakyamuni Buddha was talking about this. I often think of one thing. Why does every country have military nowadays? And you have to have the nation protection. And why is that? They have to have the national defense or the Ministry of National Defense. Why can't we think that anyone living on earth would belong to the same country? We don't need the military. All we need is just the police to rule or to catch the criminals, those who steal or rob, or all those illegal actions, kill, set fire, kill people. Those are all heavy crimes, and they need to be enforced by the police. But we don't need the military. That's how I often think. Why do countries fight with each other? No need. No need for military. No need for defense. So we make the world to be like the true United Nations, that everybody on earth belongs to one country, which is called the United Nations. We don't differentiate, or we don't discriminate or differentiate between each other, and no need That's the concept of the Buddha, of the Tathagata. The Buddha once said that all sentient beings have Buddha nature. We can say that all sentient beings are Buddhas. They have limited lifespan. From birth to death, this period of time, let them live a happy, joyful, and perfect life or days. But having so many different countries and each of them with military, if there is a world-class leader that would come out and say, like all the weaponry that's being used by the military, all to be destroyed, like the tanks and missiles and etc. No need for military anymore. Would people live a happier life then? Because life is so limited, it is so short. Think about it. This is Grandmaster's ideology or opinion that no need for countries. The earth is the country of earth. And you can have intermarriages, trades, and no need for visas, no need for strict rules, and everybody can go anywhere. But there would be some police to enforce that you cannot kill or set fire or steal. Wouldn't that be better? So the whole world is a country, it's one country. Would we live better or more happily then? Have you ever thought of this? No. Nobody has thought of it. We don't need the defense ministry. Military is very useful. Some people are in the military for their whole lives. They need to go for training and to be a military man for a certain number of years. It's quite wistful. And the creation of all those killing machines, weapons, I'm very against it. For the independence days of many countries, for the parade, when they pass by, say, the presidential hall, it's like the fighting trunks, the National Day, or missiles and ballistic, all the weapons being showed off. So on national days, they should have parades of flowers instead, or just parades. You know, like having all the beautiful ladies dancing on the poles. Don't you say? Don't you think? Because when everybody is celebrating the birthday of a country, instead you show off the killing weapons. What for? I thought of this, that you want to show how strong your country is, like how many missiles you have. What do you mean? Then that's not one body. As long as you're a human being, everybody's the same. There's no differences between I, you, or them. Only love, no hatred. So the wars, the so-called wars, are the hatred between countries. In the eyes of the Buddha, only love. There's only love, no hatred. That's why it's one body. If you are separated, then there will be problems. Then there would be differentiations, discrimination. Then there would be hatred. If there's only one body, there will be no hatred. There would be the one world in harmony. Everybody is the same, is equal. You know, as spoken by Confucius. I really admire Confucius' father. When Confucius' father was 70, he married a 20-year-old lady and gave birth to Confucius. Why do I admire him? I don't know what to say. Same, right? One body. Let's not differentiate. Everyone belongs to the same body, the same. Buddhism also talks about loving kindness and compassion for all without discrimination. So although you and I do not come from the same origin, but I will still be compassionate toward you. We are all human beings. Of course, we are one body, right? So on this national days, if they ask their master to come out and dance, do the pole dancing, sure, I can do it, although I may not be able to do it, but so to celebrate national days and everybody's celebrating, and yet you're showing off weapons who can kill. So you're showing off your muscles to show off how your strength, your power. What for? So that's against the spirit of the Buddha. The Buddha said, loving kindness and compassion for all, without discrimination. That's why Sakyamuni Buddha is a truly great person or being. And Grandmaster Lu too has the opinion that we don't need to have countries and no borders, so you can go wherever you like. No need for passports. No countries, right? The whole earth is one country, so why would you need passports? And no need for the killing weapons. Missiles, bombs, anything, all this. Homophone in Chinese, like all the rotten eggs, turtles' eggs. You know, the brains of human beings are very dirty. How come they do not comprehend or they do not know the spirit of the Buddha? So I was thinking about those atomic bombs. nuclear bomb. So many countries have them. The first country, the most nuclear weapons was owned by Russia, first Russia, United States, and China. Why do we need those? Because that would destroy the whole earth. No need for nuclear weapons, atomic bombs, missiles, or even the automatics, AK, the automatics. No need for those tanks and military vehicles, etc. Yes, another play of words in Chinese. So we should make people live happier, right? Why do we need those things? So on this title about the one body, the common view of one body. So I view that everyone on earth, this is the earth country, that everybody live their lives. Say if we lived for 100 years or for 100 years, that for 100 years we live together in harmony, love each other, respect each other, everybody, there's no disputes, no conflicts, and when very happy, when there's famine in a certain place or epidemic at a certain place, then we would go help them. We would invent some vaccines to help them. Like during the pandemic this time where the countries help each other, that's very good. That's the compassion for everyone equally and loving kindness for all. So that in this life, in this dream of life, at least we have sweet dreams and not nightmares. Don't hate each other. Don't like you hate me, I hate you. In between the individuals, they hate each other. And in families, between couples or children, they hate each other, they don't get along or something. Don't do that. Also the same for countries. The spirit of the Buddha. So there's no need for defense ministry, no need for military, no need to kill so many people. Grandmaster every night perform bardo deliverance for those who died from the pandemic, and I've been doing it for 2 years. I don't get any rewards, or I don't get anything in return to do that, and also not for merits either. It's not that by doing this I generate merit, no, and I've been doing it for 2 years. The bardo deliverance. No reasons. And that's one body, same view. It doesn't matter which country you come from or which religion you have. You know, like from the video clip, the animation last night. Doesn't matter what religion you have, I can help you. or whichever sect you belong to, I can also help you. That's my philosophy.
一体同观嘛，就是这样子。
So one body, same view.
跟人家解释的绝对不会一样。
So my explanation is definitely different from other people's.
以后我们这边如果有人当了总统，
In the future,
国庆日的时候，
if one of us become president, I hope that on national days, I hope the parade would be just like a normal parade, not of the weapons, no need for defense, national defense. We have several neutral countries in Europe, and their concepts are close to this one body, same view. We are neutral, so we don't side with anybody. No military, no defense. I don't fight or get into wars with anybody. Whether at this generation or future generations, if any of them become a president, that when they have a parade on national days, the command from the president takes effect, right? You can just say. And then you can just have a pole dancing. If nobody will dance, then Grandmaster will. Maybe here at the Homa Hall, we'll put a few poles here, and we train a few who can dance it, and then before Homa, we would dance the pole, the pole dancing for the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas as an offering. So this is my thinking, things that people don't think about. Ning is at work. And his boss asked him, "You don't look good, what happened?" And Ming said, "Oh, it's almost daybreak when I got home. And then when I took off my clothes, my wife woke up and asked me, 'Why are you up so early?' So I just wore the clothes back and come to work." Today I donated blood, and the guy in front of me donated 200 cc, and only halfway he was pale and almost fainted, and then he said, "Oh, please inject them back. Inject the blood back." On this Lunar New Year, this is a play of word of Chinese.
财源滚滚，财没有滚，生财变成盐滚滚。好，今天就讲到这里。
That's all for today. Mani Padme Hum.